Israel is in a fight for their lives. Our friends in Israel are surrounded by people who would kill them all if they could. I am tired of the word genocide. Let me tell you about genocide. If Israel wanted to commit genocide, they could have done it already. They have the capability to do that. They choose not to. Hamas, they would commit genocide in 30 seconds. They just can't. And that's the big difference, folks. To people in my party, I'm tired of this crap. Israel is our friend. They're the most reliable friend we have in the Mideast. They're a democracy, surrounded by people.
When you have to keep reiterating that they're your friend, they're your friend, they're our friend, they're your friend, man. I don't know, they don't feel like my friend. They steal all my money and tell me I'm an idiot. Doesn't feel like we're friends. No, they're friends. It's like such a cope, right? They're our friends, guys. I have to keep telling you this. Let you guys love Israel, okay? Stop thinking that you don't. Stop with that. You love it. It's your favorite. They're your friend. They love you. Go to sleep.
Who would cut their throats if they could. This is not a hard choice if you're an American. It's not a hard choice if you're a Christian. A word of warning.
Yes, it has to do with religion. Remember, Islamophobia. This is why it's so silly when we have commenters under my videos saying how anti-Semitic I am. Oh my goodness, I'm just as bad as the Zionists. We have U.S. politicians, the most powerful of which, are senators like Lindsey Graham, who run on platforms of Islamophobia, who are rapaciously cheering on the death and violence against Muslims because they're Muslim, because they talk like this. They frame it between Christian versus Muslim. It's the civilized Western world versus the barbaric, savage Arab world. And you're telling me we live in an anti-Semitic world? I don't think so.
If America pulls the plug on Israel, God will pull the plug on us. And we're not going to let that happen.
Lindsey is talking about Rabbi Shmuley's butt plugs, by the way, which you can find 20% off every Sabbath. They're all kosher.
So I just want to end with this thought, that President Trump has stood with Israel at the most difficult time since its founding. October the 7th was an effort to destroy the state of Israel, the largest loss of Jewish life since the Holocaust. And here we are almost 2 years later, and Israel's the bad guy. That's ridiculous. Israel is not the bad guy.
Okay, Lindsey Graham, but have you tried crying about it?
They're the good guy. The bad guys are the radical Islamists who would kill everybody in this room if they could.
I don't remember the good guys ever starving 2 million people. Do you?
So I haven't lost my vision of right and wrong. When it comes to foreign policy, President Trump has stood up for all the right things, and he stood up against wrong things.
Remember, right things, white things. Wrong things, brown things.
Just like Reagan.
Okay, so he says we have to defend the Jews right in Israel. We must allow them to commit genocide. In fact, we have to support the genocide, the bombing of children, because we're Christians and that's what we're supposed to do. Well, Tucker Carlson sat down with Mother Stephanopoulos. She is the sister of George Stephanopoulos, and she has been living for years in the Holy Land. And one of the questions that she was asked by Tucker Carlson is, are Christians treated better in Arab countries than they are in Israel? This is what she said.
Do you think Christians in other Arab countries are treated better than Christians in Israel and Palestine?
Well, I can only go from my times of being there. In Lebanon, too, at the time I was there were churches, and they were part of the society. Yeah. So there was nothing wrong with being a Christian. And in Syria, when I would now who knows what's going to happen? But certainly the time when
they just sort of like lived together, like, it was just part of a society, They didn't have to climb over some barbed wire apartheid wall where they were constantly being surveilled by troops.
I was there.
Well, Israel controls those countries now.
So. Well, they're trying to make inroads. Yeah. Well, what did they do first? They bombed after Assad went down. They get rid of all the military. So what is the point of Abu Jilani being there now? the ISIS head. Without who is he serving? Is he serving the Syrian people or the Israeli people?
No.
What's the answer?
He's serving the Israelis.
Right now, it looks like he's serving Israel.
What's so surprising is that you think of, or in the United States, people think of Israel as like this foothold of Western civilization in the Middle East. And so you would imagine the Christians would do a lot better under Israeli control than they
Israel, don't release the PP tape of Lindsey Graham. Israel, please.
would under Assad's control. But
No, that's not the case at all. That's it. Definitely not the case at all. Talk a little bit more about the Palestinians themselves
I would
and their
love to
form of
hear it.
resistance, because I think one of the reasons I was grateful to be able to come on is to really give a picture of them and the people as they are. And one thing that's really struck me, I know Muslims, I know Bedouins, I know all during this time where they've really been suffering, what I really get sense from them is their real belief in God and that their life is in God's hands. And there's such a humility and an obedience to their Creator and an understanding that this life is not the only one. And there's a real beauty to that I think so much of the world is missing. And I think even in sort of, there's a deeper sense to all that's even going on right now, right? We're in the heart of Jerusalem, in the heart of where Christ came. There was a reason for that. And now we have a situation where the people who were the closest to God are being destroyed. In a simple sense, I live next to the Mount of Olives, and when you go down the Mount of Olives, it's where they said, Hosanna in the highest, here comes Christ. And often I've gone to parish churches in Palestine, and the whole community they know all the service, and they're singing it themselves. And it reminds me, as those people that were on the Mount of Olives greeting the Creator, greeting the Messiah who is coming for their salvation, and honoring him. And that's what they're doing to this day. And what we're doing instead is destroying that.
And it gets worse. Tucker actually asks her about, in 2002, this is before Hamas, before any of this.
We all went over this.
The Israelis
we watched it, so
Bethlehem.
We don't have to watch it again.
And Tucker asks her about this and how Christians were killed by the IDF during that time. But meanwhile, Lindsey Graham says we have to support them because if we don't, God will pull the plug on us. Looks like
no greater friend to Christians than Israel, according to Lindsey Graham. And she's making the point that Christians are not safe from the IDF.